Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 36 of Brat Said That. I am your host, Brat Jackson, with my co-producer, Chad LGBT. And we got a couple dogs in the room. And today's theme, for some reason, is Shrek, and I have Shrek the musical on in the background. Why they made a musical of that, I don't know. But I like Shrek. If I sound a little nasally, more than usual, it's because I got the runny nose. You know, I had a Mucinex last night, and I'm feeling pretty sick. But you know what? We're gonna jump right in the show. Now, we usually always start off with professional wrestling, but the Super Bowl was this weekend, and we have to talk about it because congratulations to... Why am I yelling? There's no need to yell. There's no... I'm hyped. 36 episodes in. Lord Forquat. Congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks for doing what they've done and winning the Super Bowl again. Where can we start? It was such a big event. It really was. I didn't get to watch it because I was at work, but it was okay. People had their phones out, so I kind of snuck a peek when I could. Didn't really miss too much. Seattle won. They won 29-13. I did predict 35-16, so I was kind of close. But yeah, we got to give it up to Seattle for winning. The Patriots didn't show up. They showed up, but they did not show up to play. That is for dang sure. What a game for Seattle. What a game for their defense. Drake May, I kept hearing Drake May's too young. He's not ready, only 23 years of age. So, rough time for the Patriots. But, you can't fault Seattle for going out and playing the way they played. Their defense looked phenomenal. Their kicker, let's be honest, the kicker scored more than half of their points. Why did he not win the MVP? What is his name? I didn't get his name. Jason Myers. He scored 4 field goals. Five field goals. He was perfect. If this dude would have missed 5 field goals, we would drag him through, we would shit on him all night. He missed a field goal. We all remember 1990 or whatever. Scott Norwood missed a game-winning field goal for the Bills. We still talk about it. But this guy, he does 6 field goals, looks great, 100%, and he doesn't get the MVP. I'm not upset about it because, I don't really care. But shout out to, who won the MVP? What was his name? Kenneth Walker III. So, the whole game, it was just Seattle on New England sacking Drake May over and over again. Very, very boring to some. Sometimes you get a good, close game. Sometimes you get blowouts. That's the Super Bowl. You never know what was going to happen. By the way, the Gatorade that they did throw on the coach was yellow. So if you went yellow as that bet, you would have won. But yeah, we're going to talk all about the game. We're going to take a huge chunk about facts of the game, what happened. We're definitely going to talk about the halftime show. Bad Bunny. I don't know where to really start. It was in Santa Clara, Levi Stadium, San Francisco 49ers. They held WrestleMania there one year, 2015. Charlie Puth, national anthem, turn me on like a light switch. He sang the national anthem. Joe Montana with the coin toss. It was on Peacock. So I like that. Didn't make it very hard for people to watch the Super Bowl. You didn't need ESPN Plus Diamond subscribe to this to watch the Super Bowl. So, it was a Super Bowl. Patriots now have lost 6 Super Bowls. That is the most of all time. Seahawks have won I read somewhere that the Patriots are 0-4 against Seattle after beating them in the Super Bowl. I can look at, whatever you want to look at. We got a whole game to talk about. Here's a little post-game fun. Kenneth Walker III was awarded the MVP based on his 135 rushing yards on 27 carries. The Seattle defense was widely credited for their performance in a largely defensive game. Sounds about right. And at age 38, Mike Macdonald became the third youngest head coach to win a Super Bowl behind Sean McVay and Mike Tomlin. So, shout out to Mike Macdonald. It started 12-0, then 19-0, and I was like, this game, first time I think in the Super Bowl being shut out. I don't think there's ever been a Super Bowl that's been shut out. And then, touchdown, Mac Hollins, 19-7, field goal, another field goal for Myers, 22-7, interception return, 29-7, and then another touchdown reception for May, 29-13. So, that was, Seattle, congratulations. I don't know what the betting odds were in the season. Let's see. Let's see what the odds to win Super Bowl 2025. I guess 2026. Let's see. I want to do. Let's see. What's this? Here we go. I think this is it. Let's see. Odds to win the Super Bowl. If I'm right, let's see. Who won Seattle? Plus 6,000. Plus 6,000 to win. The Patriots, plus 8,000. So, nobody was thinking that this Super Bowl was going to happen. The favorites, Ravens, Bills, plus 700. Chiefs, plus 800. Eagles, plus 700. Let's see the Raiders. Raiders were plus 10,000 to win the Super Bowl. Well, guess what? They didn't win the Super Bowl. But, you know who did win the Super Bowl? Our new head coach. That is right. Our new head coach. God, I know his name. Why did I not write it down? Klint Kubrick. I think that's how you say it. Kubiak. Being names, they don't get along. And he won the Super Bowl, and it was cute because adorable. After the game, they were like, "Oh, here you're gonna go to Vegas." He's like, "Yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna go to Vegas." So, how you doing, Coach? Welcome to the team. We'll get Mendoza in April, and then we will look forward to rebuilding this franchise that needs help. That is nightmare fuel right there. That is absolute nightmare fuel. That's what me and Babe should do this Halloween. Fiona and Shrek, because I can pull off a Shrek. And a Donkey, we got Rolly, and Puss in Boots, Penny. That'd be great. But yeah, that was the Super Bowl. I don't. How do you feel about it? Did you have fun? Oh, that's why I gotta write down that too. I gotta write that down too. Let's see. I'm doing. Let's see. I thought of something. I had to write it down so I don't forget. So we talked about the kicker should have been the MVP. These kickers, you miss a shot. It's a hard position to play because halftime show. We could talk about the halftime show. Bad Bunny came out. I saw somebody post. He had more surprises in his halftime show than the Royal Rumble did. And he had Lady Gaga, Ricky Martin. It was a great halftime show. It got a lot of people upsetting spaghetti because, the whole political side, which, I'll be honest, there was no need to make that political. Like, people are like, oh, I can't understand his lyrics. Bro, 13 years ago, we were all Opa Gangnam Style, and we didn't mind it, And then 15 years before, 15 years ago, we were listening to Skrillex. Like, music is music. Just enjoy it, There should have been no reason why they made such a big deal with it. Green Day opened up too. They didn't get as political as I thought they would be, But, it was, I gotta take some Coke Zero Vanilla. Yeah, so I don't know who you're gonna, if it was because Bad Bunny speaks Spanish, well, it's America. A lot of Spanish-speaking people. Puerto Rico is America. It is a U.S. territory. And, we should have not been that divided over this. It really should not have been. If you don't like it, just, don't watch it, at halftime, go run in the store, go pick up some chips, go get some more Coke Zero. There was no need to get so angry. Not so angry to the point that they needed to make their own halftime show. Turning Point USA, I don't know. Right now, I don't know I know Kid Rock. I used to like Kid Rock, and then I grew up, And speaking about Kid Rock, what is Bob with the ball, the bang, the bang, big, 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 bugs up, jump, Bob with the ball, the ball, the ball, ball, blah, 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 blah. Shut up. I don't know. There was no need to be that divided. Bad Bunny's awesome, great artist. SuperBowl was here, it came. Now, unfortunately, that means football season is over. So let's take a look at the football season. We started this show, I think, week 4. It was fun. Chad LGBT picked, I think he picked the divisional round, championship round, and Super Bowl all correct. So yeah. Surprisingly, the Seahawks won. Next year, we're going to have the Super Bowl. It's going to be in SoFi Stadium on Valentine's Day. So, but yeah, we're looking at the season that was, sorry, like I said, my nose. Raiders, we 3-14, horrible, but we got the first pick. Jets, horrendous. I think the biggest takeaway was how bad the Chiefs did. 6-11, 6 losses in a row. That's what I think really is shocking. Also, another shocking too. Bills not going as far as they should. Josh Allen, this was your year. There was no Mahomes, no Burrow, no Lamar Jackson. You had a clear path to the Super Bowl, and you didn't do it. Eagles losing in the first round was a huge talk too. After winning the Super Bowl last year, you usually want to do better, or get to the Super Bowl again. The AFC Championship game between New England and Denver in the snow just a few weeks ago. What do you know? 10-7. Great game between the the Bears and the Rams. Just a little bit too much for Caleb Williams. But yeah, Giants stuck up the place. Cowboys, of course, are never gonna make the playoffs. I don't want to say that, but they're not very good. And this could be Aaron Rodgers last year. A lot of questions in this Super Bowl. A lot of questions in this this year. We got for Football Hall of Fame, we talked about retirements. Anybody retired that we know of? Let's see. I don't see anybody that I really know that we could talk about too much. Notable retirements. Derek Carr. But I think he retired the other year. But yeah, Super Bowl came and won. It is what it is. I want to know your opinions. A lot of people are like, oh, Bad Bunny, that was the worst Super Bowl of all time. Or last Super Bowl halftime show. Stop. You were going to see that no matter what. Kid Rock, he lip-synced his way to a performance, I think there was more fans in Shrek the Musical than there were there in the halftime show that they put on. They, as in Turning Point USA. And it was just a lot of, hateful things. There was no need for that, Not surprising, that this should never have been political to begin with. It really shouldn't, but That was the NFL season. You know, Seahawks ended up on top. Raiders get the first pick in April, so we'll talk more about that. And really, that's all we can talk about. So, farewell to NFL. 17 weeks, great postseason. You know, we look forward to Fernando. We'll do our mock drafts, maybe like put out like 5 mock drafts. And yeah, move on. We gotta move on. But we will go back to where we always start off the show, but we're not gonna start off the show. We're gonna talk about it. We are on the road to Elimination Chamber, coming up in about 18 days. Elimination Chamber, such a cool concept. You know, they've kind of made it a little bit like PG, you know, like protected. Not like the first chamber in 2002. But, you know, some matches announced. Orton and LA Knight, have qualified. We're going to find the 4 other participants. Tiffany Stratton and Rhea Ripley qualified for the Women's Chamber. Becky Lynch and AJ Lee for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. And CM Punk versus Finn Balor in a World Heavyweight Championship match. So that's going to be great. I can see Punk and AJ winning. It's going to be in Chicago. That's delicious. A little bit of vanilla. Not my thing, but yeah, you know, we'll check it out. We'll get our predictions when it comes closer. This will be the first WWE event to be held at the United Center since 1994 SummerSlam. By the way, we needed to step back a little bit. I do it every Monday, every Tuesday. God, that is nightmare fuel. The BratWURST Award. We do it every Monday, every Tuesday. Has to go to the New England Patriots. You know, the lack of playing and the dominance that they brought on themselves from the Seattle Seahawks, I don't even think that's an intelligible sentence. But yeah, they have won this week's BratWURST Award. So hey, Patriots, at least you won something this week, because you definitely did not win the Super Bowl. But back to the Elimination Chamber. It's heating up. We're looking forward to it. I love it. We'll have like a little Elimination Chamber history talk. I'll probably make an article on it, bodyslam.net. One thing I want to talk about too, one person who's been missing for the last 9 months. Where in the world is Bianca Belair? Where is she? She's been hurt. April 25th episode of SmackDown, she suffered broken fingers on her left hand and would be taking time off the hill. That was in April of 2025. Okay? She is still not back as of February 10th, 2026. That's a long time. Bianca, at this point, just chop your fingers off. I think you'll heal up better than whatever is going on. But holy kabobby. I hate when it says poor connection. But yeah, Bianca, damn, you know, where have you been, Bianca Belair? You know, I mean, she returned to Evolution as a guest referee, but damn, you know, we thought she would be in the Rumble. She wasn't. She's been gone for a long time. A lot of this is what's frustrating, because, like, I know she's injured, but sometimes when, like, people would just be on the shelves for months not doing anything. And it's like, you know, you can find something to do for everybody. But, you know, if she's hurt, get better. But I do want to talk about something, too. I've been hearing about this. I haven't really did my research about it. But WWE honors Jim Shank at the end of Raw. I want to know who he is. Jim Shank, 60 years old, and died of battling cancer. He had been with the company since November 1999 and served as its technical operations manager. So he was definitely somebody who, you know, made the show possible that you don't get credit for. You know, a lot of these people, you know, it takes an army to run the show. It's not just the referees and the wrestlers and the announcers. It's the people that set up the lights, the ring crew. The ring crew is one of the hardest jobs in wrestling. I hate a ring crew. I mean, I did it when there was like 40 people, you know, but helping out. But yeah, condolences to him. I know a GoFundMe was launched. Over $200,000 by Vince McMahon, Kevin Steen, Owens, Orton, Alexa Bliss, Cody Rhodes, Jericho, and Bruce Pritchard. So yeah, it's good that they have, honored somebody who's worked for them for 25 years. So yeah, thoughts and prayers go out to him. Long time member, you know, a lot of treats from Triple H, Adam Pearce, Natty even posted it. But, you know, we can talk about Raw. Raw was last night, happened every Monday since 1993, except when the dogs happened. We had news, Bron Breakker, that is nightmare fuel. I'm sorry, every time I look at the camera, I just see the, like, what is this? I'm sorry. I want to put my head here. Hold on, let me try to do this. I thought this would be cute, but it's just petrified. Somebody needs to get some Blue Chew for this. Okay, enough is enough. I'm not doing that. If I have to sit through this, so do you. But yeah, Raw happened. We heard Bron Breakker was going to be out for a while. He had a hernia. Hernias are not a joke, guys. People said that he got a hernia from, what is it called? Turning over the announce table last week. So he'll be out. Hopefully he'll be back before WrestleMania because his storyline with Adam Pearce is one of the most compelling ones. Of course, hey, we do got to talk about the masked man. He came back, attacked Austin Theory. Logan Paul came out, chased him out of the arena, and gave LA Knight, the win. So who is the masked man? You know, they're doing that gimmick again. But yeah. And then it's silly. AJ Lee comes out, but not that silly part. I love AJ Lee. But Natty takes Maxine Dupree, puts on a sharpshooter on top of the announce table. That does not inflict more damage. It looks cool. It looks more like you would think, okay, more damaging, but it doesn't really make it more painful. I don't know. Silly. But AJ Lee, Becky Lynch, they're all involved somehow with each other. Natty, Maxine, Becky, and AJ. So, you know, it'd be a cool, like, tag team match, maybe. But, you know. And then Javon Evans. So, it was Americano Bravo and Alpha versus Javon Evans. And the original El Grande, El Grande, Gable? No, that doesn't work. Whatever. I'm not very witty. But Bravo Americano was going one corner, was going to splash on El Grande Americano, and then Javon Evans on this corner jumped, leaped, and cut her. It was great. Awesome to see. You know, and then the Alpha Academy, Otis and Akira Tozawa lost to the Usos. Seems like they're doing Jey Uso as a singles wrestler again, because I think he has a qualified match coming up for the Elimination Chamber. But yeah, you know, that was Raw. You know, I got to watch the highlights or the lowlights, but, you know, I did read somewhere that, so since we have WrestleMania at Allegiant Stadium, WWE is planning on blocking out watch parties. Now, obviously, you can still come to your house, invite your friends over, watch WrestleMania. But if I'm right, it's like businesses can't hold like watch-alongs. Like we used to watch, maybe this is it. I remember watching WrestleMania 30 at Sam's Town, a room full of like 100 people. It was awesome. I guess they're not allowing that, and they're blocking it out 50 miles from the stadium. WWE blocks WrestleMania watch parties as ticket sales drop. Well, no wonder why ticket sales are dropping, because of $400,000. You know. Dave Meltzer reported that WrestleMania 42 has only sold 36,000 tickets per night, with 2 months to go, about 18% lower than WrestleMania 41. It is believed that fans are choosing watch parties over stadium due to high ticket cost. No shit. One-day tickets for WrestleMania 42 start at $270 for the worst seats, while 2-day passes hover between $650 and $740. This blackout would close the watch party escape hatch, forcing tourists to choose between spurging for a stadium ticket or watching alone in the hotel room. Well, here's the thing. I'm going to say right now, okay? I don't know where I'll be, but if I'm going to have WrestleMania at Casa de la Jackson, you're invited. You're invited. With Babe's permission. I got to ask Babe first. You're coming over. We're watching it together. Not this Nightmare Fuel. I'll never watch this again. By the way, you ever watch the SpongeBob musical? It's with Ethan Slater, the guy that does it's about to set so. Yeah. I think he's married to Ariana Grande. Left his wife and daughter to be with Ariana Grande. That's pretty wicked. But yeah. NFL does this stuff. The blackout rule, 75 miles, 50 miles. I think that, even if establishments have paid the standard commercial fee. So, we'll see what happens. That's pretty shitty. If it's kind of like, watch the show or don't watch the show. It's, stupid. I hate it. But, I'm done with my, my AEW kind of like bad experience. You move on. Screw Tony Schiavone. But the biggest AEW pay-per-view is heading to NYC. Yes, AEW is reported bringing Double or Nothing 2026 to the Louis Armstrong Stadium in Queens this spring, making it one of their biggest events of the year outside of Wrestle Dream and Revolution. So, hey, Double or Nothing happened in Vegas 2019. Now it's going to happen in New York City. That's good too. You got MJF, Long Island guy, bring the belt to New York City. But that's wrestling. Not much happened this weekend. Nothing really happens besides Super Bowl. Back in the day, UFC would put on a pay-per-view Saturday and have the Super Bowl on Sunday. That was cool. I think Brock Lesnar. Let me see that one. UFC. He faced. Let's see. If I'm smart. Brock Lesnar faced Frank Mir at UFC 81. Hey, I'm good. I am good. That's February 2nd, 2008. And the Super Bowl 2008 was February 3rd. So, yeah. But actually, they did this week, and what am I talking about? They did. We're about to talk about it. Not a pay-per-view. They had a Apex card, which I was wrong. I gotta eat some crow. What a performance by Mario Bautista. Wow, I was impressed. I'm not even lying. I was held up on the his fight against Jose Aldo, which was a stink fest. But man, I'm trying to find it. Why is it so hard to find? There's 30,000 UFC events. Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, Paramount Plus. But yeah, Mario Bautista with a submission, late second round, looked great. So Mario Bautista, you got my apologies. Vinicius Oliveira, he's still young. You still got your ways. First loss in the UFC. But damn, that was a really, really impressive performance by Mario Bautista. Other fights, Koji Horiguchi came back with a win. Fight of the night, Michael There's a lot of syllables. Oh, Oleg Shujashka. I'm just having fun. Excuse me. Versus Marc-Andre Barriot. Hey, our buddy Wang Chung. Let's see. The fighters that missed weight. Let's see who missed weight. He lost. Wang Chung won. Actually, they both lost, so obviously. So every fighter that missed weight lost. Except for the, obviously, fighter that missed weight. Both of them in the same fight. So, yeah, don't miss weight, kids. Because you're going to lose a lot. 25% of your purses. Ouch. That's like that's a quarter of your purse. But, yeah, so I got to give it to Mario Bautista. Looks great. No UFC on this Saturday, but we come back on the 21st, February. Sean Strickland versus Anthony Hernandez. Strickland does a lot of talking. I'm sure he was watching the Turning Point USA SuperBowl. I don't know. I have a few of these people blocked on Twitter, which make sure you go follow me. Brat Said That X. But yeah, that's going to be a good fight. We'll talk more about that next week. It's, not in the Apex, which is good. It's in Toyota Center in Houston. Never been to Houston, but shout out to Houston. Also, I do want to talk about KnuckleMania 6 happened. What a show. Wow, what an absolute show. Bare knuckle fighting is just, it's fucking brutal. It really is brutal. We could go over some of the fights. I mean, the main fight for the BKFC Heavyweight Championship, the Pitbull Arlovski put a beating on Ben Rothwell. It says, excuse me, doctor stoppage, 3 minutes, third round, 1 minute and 14 seconds. But wow, that was a fight. So shout out to Arlovski for once again becoming heavyweight champion. This time in the BKFC. Lorenzo Hunt, I think he's a light heavyweight champion, which is a middle, He won his fight, knockout, fourth round, 29 seconds. And then a fight my friend wanted me to watch, Patrick Brady versus Mayor Hill. That went 5 rounds. That one fight of the night. And then Charles Bennett. We're going to talk about Charlie Crazy Horse Bennett. Now Charlie Felony Bennett. 46. The dude's lost his last, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 out of 18 MMA fights. And then he's lost, that's MMA. Then he's lost 1, 2, 3 fights in a row for BKFC. And he won his fight against Pat Sullivan. Pat Sullivan did not look to want to be in there. I will tell you that. He looked to be, not ready to fight. But one thing I do want to talk about, it looks like March 28th, one of our good friends, not good friends, a guy I trained with, I like a lot, Josh Watson, great dude. He's fighting in the main event against Parker Porter in a heavyweight fight. So maybe Watson wins. He'll fight Arlovski next. I know Watson, he knocked out Greg Hardy, the controversial NFL player who had a few fights in the UFC. But yeah, I mean, that's, UFC, MMA. We talked about the SuperBowl. But guys, girls, boys, and ladies, it is time. Pitchers and catchers has officially been reporting to spring training. Spring training is underway. Yes, games start on the 20th, so we got 10 more days away. I would love to go down to Arizona and see a game. Pitchers and catchers. Baseball is back. Speaking about somebody who's back, Justin Verlander signed 1-year deal with the Detroit Tigers. Hall of Famer. Let's see. 42, 3,500 strikeouts, 3.32 ERA, 266 wins, 9-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champion. Well, he won it with the Astros, so he's cheated. and then 2022 with the Astros. So he cheated too. But yeah, 4-time AL win leader, strikeout leader, 5 times, 3 no-hitters, future Hall of Famer. So he's back to Detroit, played with them from 2005 to 2017. And, you know, it's good to see these guys who are, you know, the last years of their playing career to do good. You know, like Clayton Kershaw. You know, he won the World Series with them, with the Dodgers. But somebody who I do like to talk about, this close, Isaiah kind of flat for you, with this close for being World Series champion. He just got traded or signed with the Red Sox. I don't know why I have such sympathy for this kid. Well, I do know, you know, have a lot of Yankee fans. Isaiah kind of left for, they were always teasing him and talking crap about him. But it's like, hey, he's a young kid. Let him do his thing. This close though, Isaiah. This close. Little sad news. Terrance Gore from the former Royals. He died at 34. Sounds like he died of complications during a routine surgery. That's always so sad. You go into surgery and you don't come out. So, yeah, 1991, 2026. So, you know, speed, 4.29 seconds in the 40-yard dash. That's just quick. That is a quick, dude. But, yeah, so, heart goes out to him and his family. Well, his family, he passed away. Yeah, 34, way too young. Way too young, but... By the way, Coke Zero, Dr. Center can have it. But yeah, you know, we will talk more about baseball. We started doing the show deep into the playoff season. So we did talk about spring training or the first week of, you know, first few months of baseball, All-Star Game, Home Run Derby. So this will be our first year talking about MLB. I love MLB. One of my favorites. Sports. You know, I love wrestling, sports or not, whatever, sports entertainment. But, you know, I chose to be a White Sox fan. I still am, even if they are horrible. But, yeah, so. Ugh. Anyways. Nightmare Fuel. Why do I have this on? Seriously. Who thought Shrek the Musical would be like, you know what would be good? An ogre on stage. And that's just... You know. But I love Shrek. Don't get me wrong. Did you know, a little fun fact, I think everybody knows this. Late, great Chris Farley. I have his Funko Pop right over there. I don't know if you can see. You probably can't see it. He was originally the voice of Shrek. But he passed away, and then Mike Myers took it over. You can still hear, like, sound bites of him. I think he completed, like, 60% of the movie before he passed away. Yeah. But, hey, NBA 2026 All-Star Game is in 5 days. You know, I talk about East versus West. By the way, I'm kind of dumb. So I'll talk about something, right? And I'll forget I talked about it on the show. And then I'll talk about it again. Because I like to rewatch my show because, A, it's entertaining, B, I'm funny, and 3, I don't have anything else to do. I talked about James Harden getting traded twice. You know, I think it was still in the same, like, realm of, like, I don't like James Harden, but I don't know. I don't know. I write down, like, my whole show list of what I want to talk about. But, so bear with me, okay? This is still, you know, we're still on the ground. 22 followers on YouTube. Still not where I want to be, but I'm trying. So, yeah, USA versus World. You know, 3-point contest. You know, we will talk about, like, more of the All-Star Game probably next time we come on. Because I love the All-Star Game. You know, when it's done right. You know, let's see. NBA All-Star Game. Yeah, 2026. Steph Curry's out of the All-Star Game with the knee. Golden State Warrior. Steph Curry will miss the NBA All-Star Game. And at least the next 2 games due to right knee injury, ending his streak of appearances and opening a roster spot for a replacement. That replacement is Brandon Ingram from the Toronto Raptors, making his second All-Star nod. So, yeah. You know, I wonder, let me see, because usually one of the best things a lot of people like to talk about are, how do you spell that? Okay, snubs. A lot of people are like, oh, this guy should have made the All-Star, you know. So let's see. Let's see. Which players were you surprised to see on the roster? LeBron James, but seeing Karl Anthony Towns added, surprisingly, because his play this season has drawn a lot of pessimism. Let's see. Let's see. What player are you surprised to see left off? Kawhi Leonard. He's a top 10 player this season, and after a dreadful start. Alperim Sengun. You know, Houston Rockets. Devin Booker missed out. Let's see. Yeah, this is. I'm just reading an article at ESPN. Let's see. Who was it by? NBA Insider Zach Cram and Kevin Pelton. I just picked the first thing I saw. By the way, I've got a lot of comments because I do turn my head on. I do turn my head to read the screen, and a lot of people ask what this bump is. If you see close, this is a bump. It's like a weird birthmark. I've had this bump all my life. It's just there. There was one time, so embarrassing. In school, we were like doing this like telephone where you like whisper like like I like mashed potatoes, and you gotta like whisper it and see like if it gets to the last person. It's always different by the time it gets to the last person. But this one girl, she like went to whisper in my ear, and it's like, there's something on his ear. I was like, bitch, it's a bump. God, get over yourself. But yeah, All-Star Game snubs. Let's see, 6 days ago. Let's see, Kawhi Leonard snub, Michael Porter Jr., Laurie Marketed. You know, so there's always every year to talk about snubs. But, you know, I do want to talk about, you know, we did say the NHL is on hiatus, and the Olympics is happening right now. I mean, there's so much going on with the Olympics. Excuse me. That, like, I can't, like, go over everything. Obviously, when NHL hockey, or when hockey goes on, you know, we'll talk about Team USA. I think they start February 12th, so 2 days they can play their first game. They just named Austin Matthews as the captain of the team. He's from California. San Ramon, California. I don't know where that is. But yeah, he's named USA team captain. And the Minnesota Wild has 10 players and staff involved in the Olympic hockeys. Wow. And then you got Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, the Kansas City Crosby, Jack Eichel, and Austin Matthews. You know, national teams marking this best on the best. That sounds like a great show for wrestling. Best of the best. You know, and then NHL players adjust the Olympic style. Rink sizes are different. No fighting in hockey in the Olympics. And they're adapting to new play. So, you know, I'm looking forward to it. We'll talk about the... She's singing to a stuffed deer. You know, why did I pick Shrek as this theme? I don't know. I was like, make me an ogre. It's like, we can't make you an ogre. We can make you a mythical character with green skin. Okay, do that then. Shut up. Do as I say, computer. But one little sad thing, Lindsay Vonn, she got hurt. Lindsay Vonn is an American alpine ski racer, Olympic gold medalist in so much. 2010, and then she won Worlds and World Juniors. She broke her leg. I want to make sure that. Let's see. That's it. On January 30th, Vonn suffered a crash in World Cup downhill. The final downhill before the Olympics, and was airlifted off the course. She confirmed she had ruptured her anterior ACL. I'm not gonna try to pronounce anterior cruciate ligament. She tore her ACL. Yeah. Yeah, it was scary to see. So prayers go out to her. This might have been her last Olympics. She's 41, so definitely would be her last Olympics. So that sucks. But, she's one of the, she's an American that we got to root for. So hopefully she goes back and does great things. The Olympics, I can't really tell you too much. Let's see. Let me see. Let's see how the counts go with the medals. Olympic medal count. Let's see. Right now, Norway's got 12 medals overall. Germany's got 6, Sweden 6, Switzerland 5, and the United States has 7. Norway's got 6 gold medals. We got 2. Let's see. United States wins silver in mixed doubles. I don't know what that means. But, wait a second. Is it women's hockey? Hold on a second. I guess okay, I didn't talk about this. We got to talk about the women. Their hockey team won too. Team USA. Wow, there is a lot going on there. My brain is just fried looking at this. Let's see. We got four wins already? What? We beat what is that? Why am I dumb? Czech Republic, right? And then we beat Finland. And then we beat Switzerland. And then we beat Canada just today. So we are on our way to, wow. Okay, Sweden, Germany, Italy. Wow, okay, United States, yeah. So we play Italy in the quarterfinals. So yeah, we definitely check up on the women's hockey team too. I like finding out new things on the show. I saw some guy do a backflip in ice skating. That's crazy. You don't really see that. Let's see who's not doing good. Bulgaria, you got 1 silver medal. Latvia has 1, silver. New Zealand, South Korea. So yeah, it's the Olympics. We're gonna talk about it. I'm excited, but one thing, big news, Arizona goes down. That is right. Arizona got toppled by Kansas. Number 9 Kansas defeated undefeated number 1 Arizona. First loss of the season, ending the Wildcats' perfect 43-0 start and shaking up national seed projections. So, so that's putting March Madness. I'm sure Arizona would still get number 1 seed for their whatever division they're in. But wow, that's something else, man. That's crazy. But yeah, other than that, I don't know what else to really talk about. We talked about the Super Bowl. It happened. Go Seahawks. One thing I do want to talk about, I want to get a little emotional. 3 years ago, my dad passed away on the 11th of February. I wanted to do a show tomorrow, but I get emotional during those days. I miss him. I love him. He was a huge sports guy. Die-hard Yankee fan. Biggest Yankee fan you ever meet. Growing up, I didn't have so much basketball. I'm trying to talk about my dad and trying to reconnect. Well, I'm trying to reconnect with my dad. But yeah, we he was a great guy. I miss him so much. Hell of a bowler too. That dude, especially my uncle too. They were great bowlers. But yeah, he passed away. It sucks. He was only 66 or 1966. It sucks, but I remember we used to go to Shea Stadium see the Mets play. We went to, one thing I'll never forget, went to Yankee Stadium for my birthday in 2005. We saw Derek Jeter hit his first Grand Slam ever. Got to watch the Giants win the Super Bowl with them. I remember being 8 when the Yankees won the World Series. And I want to say Scott Brosius. He hit a home run. or was it? Let's see. Was it? Let's see. Maybe it was 2001 when he hit a 2-run home run in the bottom of the 9th inning of Game 5 to tie the game instead of extra innings. I do remember somebody going crazy at a house and they leaped up. What is this? It was 99, 98, whatever. The Yankees won so much I forget. But yeah, just see, every time it was hard to watch the Yankees without him. He would always, he would work all day, come home, make sure he ate, and make sure homework was done. And then when we were ready to bed, he would sit back at his bar that him and my uncle made and just watch the game. I remember being a little fat kid. So my dad would always have little snacks and stuff while he was watching the game. And sometimes he would drink a little whiskey or bourbon or whatever. I thought it was Pepsi or Coke. So I would sneak in while he was in the bathroom, take a sip, instantly regret it, But I like all the times where he would say he would have he loved little hot dog wieners, So he would he would go to the bathroom and I'll sneak. I'll grab a couple weenies and go into my room, and he got to the point where he knew I would take them, so he would have to count how many there were. But he was a great guy, hilarious guy too. Love the Monkees, love the Beatles. That's why I got a lot of Beatles, Monkees. Love music, Hermits, the Guess Who, the Who. Love John Wayne. Holy crap. He was the easiest person to shop for on his birthday or Christmas. It was either Yankees, Beatles, John Wayne. That was really it. But great guy. I miss him every day. I wish he would have met Babe. I do. Sometimes when I'm feeling really emotional, I know it's probably not the best thing to do, but I'll go ChatGPT. And I'll be make this picture look like we're together now. But yeah, great uncle to Betty. Uncle Chaz. They called him Chazaboo. His name was Charles. His middle name was Charles. Best dad in the world. I'm fortunate to have a dad. My dad, he was a great person, but he let you learn from your mistakes. Oh, you got stuck by yourself across the island at 2 a.m.? I'm not getting you. You find yourself a way home. One of those guys growing up, streetlights came on, 2 minutes later, if you didn't hear, you'd hear, Brat, all the way down the street. Just a great dude. Him and Mighty are just living it up in heaven. I don't know what else to talk about. He was a great guy. I do remember when I graduated college, tech school, he was a manly man too. He would wake up at 7 a.m. and start pulling weeds. And, I miss him. It sucks, I was glad, even if he wasn't the same person I remember, I was glad I spent the last few months with him in his life in Florida. You gotta have a dad. Dads are important. And shout out to, a really good friend of mine. They just had a baby, So, But, I wish one day I could have had a kid that he could have met. No kids yet. None that I know of. But, always wanted the best. Fix appliances. So if you ever need an appliance fixed, he would fix it for you. He was a great guy. It sucks because he was the type of guy where I have a little bit of him in me too, where it's oh, you're sick, you'll be fine. Drink a Sprite, medicine, no medicine. I remember him one time too, when he was right before he ended up in the hospital. He's I don't want to end up in the hospital because if I go in the hospital, I'm not coming out. And unfortunately, he didn't come out. But yeah, so a huge, great guy. Love him to death. Entertaining person too. Always was life of the party. Always cared about, like, you know, grandkids, great-granddad to Dior and Michaela. But I miss him. I love him. So I'm just trying to make him happy. You know? Just trying to keep making him happy. I got this tattoo on my hand, dedicated to Dad, which is funny because he would have absolutely hated it. He hated tattoos, never had any tattoos. He was that kind of guy who's, you know, I've always like, let's go get you like a Yankee tattoo. He's like, no, I don't want any tattoos. But, you know, I love him. I miss him. I think about him every single day. Tomorrow's going to suck. I think I'm going to spend time with my sister, just kind of go out, just, you know, spend the day together. You know, that was his baby girl too. Like, he had her, let's see, she was born in, so he was like 19 or 20 when he had her. But, you know, my aunt too, you know, she lost both her brothers. And, you know, I just miss him. I do. But, you know, I think about him all the time. Every time I see the Yankees. You know, we got to watch Aaron Judge break the Yankees hit streak, which is great, or home run record. Got to watch that together. You know, he passed away the day before the Super Bowl when the Chiefs took on the Eagles the first time, and I got drunk off of apple pie moonshine. But Dad, I love you. You know, until next time I see you. You know, thank you for dealing with my shit, because you are the one that named me Matt the Brat, and as a brat, I will always continue your legacy. I'm trying to do my best, trying to make you proud. But guys, you know, that's really it. You know, we talked about wrestling, not much happened. Raw, we'll talk about the Elimination Chamber coming up. UFC, nothing happening this weekend. KnuckleMania, the Super Bowl, Bad Bunny. Baseball is heating up. The NBA All-Star Game, the Olympics, and, you know, so, you know, I'll figure out a day to come back on. I have 40 hours. I got a better job now. I'm working more. I'm back to a place where I feel welcome, that I love being at. So, I'll figure out a day. You know, even if it's a late night, Brat Said That. But I'm headed out. Yeah, so, if you get a chance, hug your dad. Hug your mom. Just hug your significant other, because you never know what happens. You know, it sucks. So, I'm going to head out before I start crying. So, like I said, always love yourself, love each other, and love sports. Alright? But don't love the Shrek the Musical, because it's scary. Alright, guys, I'm headed out. I love you. Good night.